field. As I was worshiping, I began to weep, and this was crazy. My grandma would tell me as a kid. She said that my uncle came rushing up and he seen a wheat field on fire. He came up and it wasn't on fire. It physically was on fire, but he literally ran up to the house and told people to grab water, to call someone that the wheat field was on fire. But they ran out of the house and the wheat field wasn't on fire. And the Lord spoke to me up here, and I'm going to tell you, your forefathers and your foremothers, many of them have dropped, and listen to me right now, they dropped the ball. Some of them dropped the ball. Some of them fulfilled the very mandate and their destiny of their life, but some of them dropped the ball. And every human being created, I believe, has a heavenly influence. Every human being has, if it's one soul, two souls, have a harvest influence. And many of our forefathers and foremothers dropped the baton, dropped the ball, whatever you want to say. But God is redeeming the times. And I believe the Lord is saying He's about, I'm telling you, God's about to restore families in here. He's about to save lost family members. Many of you came in here and you got lost loved ones that you've been contending for years, sons, daughters, uncles, mom, and God's about to redeem the time. God's about to save your lost ones. I'm telling you right now, God's about to save your lost loved ones. He's about to bring restoration even in your house. Your house is going to be restored. God's bringing restoration. And God says not only that, and it's come through your prayers, and God said not only that, He said, and I see right now, He'll say, if you'll cry out tonight, you can redeem some of those souls. What do I mean by that? Yes, those people have long gone, but God will give you a greater spirit of influence. He will give you a greater harvest influence. If you'll cry out tonight, if you'll cry out tonight, if you'll only believe tonight, God is going to add souls to your life. God's going to give you a greater influence. He's going to enlarge your territory. God's going to give away, and He's going to give you a greater harvest influence, because everybody knows that the harvest is plentiful and God will have a harvest. And He said, won't you come? Won't you join me? Won't you come fish with me? Won't you fish with me? And the Lord has given many of you nets, some small, some big. Listen, right now, some of you got fishing poles. I seen this recently. Yes. Some of you got fishing poles, and you're going to catch one fish, and then you're going to catch another fish. And then, you know, you ever see someone when they catch a fish and they take pictures? And then you see someone with a huge bass, right? But the Lord's going to begin to let you catch, and from that, your faith is going to increase. And then I see you coming with nets. If you'll only believe, your fishing pole is going to turn into nets. If you'll only believe, your fishing pole is going to turn into nets. Your harvest blends will increase right now. Redeem your forefathers. Redeem your forefathers. Redeem your forefathers. Redeem the time when the Lord is coming back. You will have a harvest. Won't you join Him? Won't you join the Lord of the harvest? Won't you be that labor? Why don't you be that labor? Why don't you labor with the Lord? Why don't you labor with the Lord? Why don't you labor with the Lord? The Lord is saying, labor with me. Labor with me. Labor with me. Labor with me. I have a harvest I must get. I have a harvest. I got sons and daughters everywhere. I want to write name in the Lamb's Book of Life. I want you to join me. I want you, when you enter the glory, I want to have people waiting on you. I'm telling you right now, don't you want a crowd of people? Listen, don't you want a crowd of people? They say there's people that have literally died, and they testify that when they went into heaven, there was crowds of people waiting on them, thanking them, and it was people they had testified of Jesus to. Don't you want a great awakening when you go into heaven? Don't you want to see a crowd of souls when you go into heaven? Right now, the Lord's redeeming the time. Grab a hold of it tonight. Grab a hold of it and watch and see if God don't open the door and enlarge your territory and your sphere of influence.